broken into two halves. This half is this is our drag half, which is what we're going to put down first.
Louder.
And so this is going to be our parting line where the two halves of the flask are going to mate together. So for lost foam, you're going to want to put your flattest side down on the parting line.
Okay, flattest side down? Okay.
So for these, they're really simple, just flat triangles.
Dude, louder.
Alright. And that's how you want to arrange them on the parting line.
Okay, so okay.
For that section. Alright, so now we're going to start on mulling some green sand.
Okay, so these are the green sands?
Yeah, this is our green sand pit.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is be putting this in the molar right behind you.
Okay.
And you want to load the green sand up to about an inch below these bars right there.
Okay. So what's this machine?
This is a molar. So it basically mixes it up as we add water into it.
Okay, so we will add water to it? Okay.
And the green sand creates like a hydrostatic bond. So you just slowly add water, and we'll do a hand test where we squeeze a bit of it and break it in half.
Okay.
And then if we can put it back together and the bond holds, that's when we know that we have the correct amount of water.
Okay. So we should be filling this up to this level.
About right there, yeah.
Okay.
So what we usually do is just start and put a tad bit of water in just to kind of wet the surface.
Okay. Okay.
And then start it. And you can see that just turns on a little agitator on the inside.
It's kind of dough mixture.
Yeah. And you can start to tell that when it's ready, it'll run up the sides and then collapse in on itself.
Okay, so it
So
will
right
make
now
a
it
thick
looks-
mixture.
Yeah, right now it looks a lot like sand, so
Okay, so you
need a
have
little
to.
bit more water.
So there is no fixed amount of water, so you have to find.
See how this is starting to kind of run up and collapse a little bit.
Okay.
So the water's getting a little closer to the right level.
So you think it's perfect amount of water?
Not yet.
Okay. It's like a cement mixture.
So like you can see these kind of like sheeting up and then rolling back
Okay.
in a little bit. Yeah, it needs to get a little bit too dry right now, but the test that you do, see that failed. You get a handful, squeeze it, and then what you want to do is break it in half. And if you can push it back together and it holds,
It's okay.
then it's okay. But that fell apart, so we need
Okay.
more water.
Okay.
When you're scraping the sides, you just want to make sure not to go too far in because you'll get into the agitator. Get your hand. Okay, so this is starting to look a little bit better. It's
Okay.
just kind of holding up on the sides a little bit.
Okay. Still, you need water.
Still a little bit. It's getting close.
Okay.
So, might just need to mix for a little while.
So we're almost done.
Almost there,
So we are close. Okay,
yeah. Almost.
almost. Maybe,
Too much.
yeah.
So you want to lightly cover the surface of the parting board with some parting dust. This just makes it where you can easily pull the mold off the parting board.
So it's kind of lubricator.
Now you want to place these in. And we're going to have a central sprue on these.
Central screw.
Sprue.
Sprue.
Yeah, that's where we were going to pour the metal from.
Okay.
So you want to leave a good like inch or two from each edge of the flask.
Okay.
But we're gonna have a central sprue like right in that area,
Okay.
so we can have runners to each
Okay.
little piece. Okay, and this is called a riddle. This is just so we can like thin the sand out a little bit. And I'm gonna grab a shovel real quick. So what we're gonna do, get a shovel full of green sand, just place it in the riddle. What you do is just shake this in lightly over the mold, just so you have a thin layer of sand coming over through there. That way you have a little bit better surface finish for the pieces. We have these little sand traps on the opposite under it, just so we can collect any excess sand and it doesn't make as big of a mess.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to kind of just pat down around the edges of it.
Gently.
Yeah. Just to make sure we get all the details into the
Firmly,
pieces.
press firmly, or just
lightly
gently?
tap, yeah.
Okay.
'Cause right
To get
now
the details, right?
Yeah, this will bring the details out since we're using a little bit finer green sand through the riddle.
Okay.
So you can kind of see where we need a little bit more sand, like right in there, right in there. So now that we have that kind of packed around that, we can just start putting in shovel holes of green sand.
So now we can fill that up without that
Yeah.
thing.
So what we're going to do, now that we have that in, you want to kind of spread this around right through there.
So
Just
once we
kinda
get
get
the
it-
details.
Yeah, once we get the details, you put in about half full on the flask, and you use this
Okay.
called a rammer.
What's it called?
A rammer.
Rammer?
Yeah. And what you want to do is go around the edges and pack this into the edge
Okay.
of the flask. This is so to have like a little bit of structural integrity and it won't fall out the bottom
Okay.
when we pick it up.
And we have to be careful with our mold,
Mm-hmm.
that foam.
And so you want to just lightly tap in the middle since the foam pieces are in there. That's why you want to leave a little bit of room from the edges of the flask so that you can
Okay.
ram the pieces up. Okay. We have that kind of tap one more time. Now we do the same little thing. Just kind of spread it out. Again, ram the edges. Again, packing up in the sides so it won't fall out the bottom when we pull out.
Okay. Now we can hit it hard, right?
Okay.
So we're done
And now
with the
what we're
first.
going to do, we find a scraper and we'll scrape the surface.
So we are going to scrape the surface off. So flat surface. See.
And now what we can do, we can flip this over, and you'll be able to see our foam pieces as we flip it. You want to be super gentle with it.
Super gentle.
Because a little bit too much motion can make the
Break that
pieces
mold.
pop out. Now, as you can see, there's our foam pieces.
Okay. Oh.
And we'll put our center sprue right through there.
Uh-huh.
And to give you a little idea how this is going to work, so this half is also going to be filled up. And this is our coat half, which is the top half of the mold.
Okay, so it's
so
the
this
top.
is also going to be filled up.
Okay.
But what we're going to have is a sprue right there in the dead center.
So it's called a sprue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this is where the molten metal will pour in, and we'll cut runners from the sprue
Uh-huh.
into all these foam pieces, and that's how they'll fill. And the foam will just turn into gas as the molten metal comes into it.
Okay. Start.
This is our sprue cutter. What we're going to do, we want to put in about a central location to all the foam pieces. So what we're going to do is cut a little sprue well. This is where any dirt and impurities will collect
Okay.
as the first little bit of the
So
metal.
we are pressing that down
Mm-hmm.
to make a hole.
Yeah.
Do we need to press hard?
Just lightly, and just kind of rotate. Okay, so now that we have the sprue well placed, what we're going to do, we're going to put a line just directly across from the sprue, right there.
Okay.
That way we know in our cope section where we're going to have to put the sprue, because this is all going to be filled up with green sand. So we just have to have a reference point.
So these are the reference points.
And you can also use the previous parting dust
Uh-huh.
to kind of give you a reference as well. So we know that the sprue is going to be right there,
Okay.
according to these lines.
Okay. So these lines are for to find out the center.
The sprue location.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's the sprue well.
So you have
Just a nice little hole.
a nice little hole, sprue hole. You need to go to the bottom.
No. We just want to go in deep enough where we can have the dirty metal collect in the bottom. So we want it to where we're going to have the metal fill, and then it's going to come up into our runners and run into there,
Okay.
into the gate.
Okay.
So I'll show you as well how to cut that. These are our gate cutters. So what we're gonna
Gate
do-
cutters.
Mhm.
Okay. So we are creating some gates.
Yeah, the gate and the runner system.
Okay.
So
To be very
since
gentle.
this is like the biggest section of it, what we're gonna do, we'll start right about there. Just slowly cut into it. And these are what these bellows are for, so you can clean it out a little bit. So that will come straight across. It'll go right into there. Okay. And now you can see this is cleared out, the runner and the gate, so we shouldn't have any green sand in there. That would make a dirty casting. So what we're going to do,
So the metal will flow this way?
it's going to flow directly down to the screw well and then up into the runner.
Okay.
And then it'll go right into there, and the gases will just evaporate out into the green sand.
Okay.
Because the green sand's very porous.
Okay.
So now what I'm doing is just cleaning out the sprue well. Excess green sand out
You
of
should be doing with very good care, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being very gentle, because you don't want to knock any of these walls out. Okay. Now that that's the majority of it's knocked out, just blow everything off. Okay. Now we'll look at the other runners.
So, like this, we have to make 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now we'll start right into there. We'll slowly back across into the sprue. This coat section would be full of sand, and we would have a hole going right down into that.
Okay.
And then what we would do is cut a pouring basin
Mm-hmm.
in this top half of the coat, like right in there. So it would make like a little cup around this, and that's actually what we're going to be pouring the metal into. And we will show you that in a later video.
So we'll be making this like that, the
Mhm.
same process.
Yeah, exact same process. Just leaving the sprue in and then ramming up around this area.
Okay.
We're going to start on our coat section, which is the top half of the mold.
So it's the top half.
Yeah. So we're going to want to do the same process as well. I'm going to pull the sprue out for this moment,
Okay.
but we have the lines just to keep our reference. So again, you'll want to start with the same process with the riddle and a couple shovelfuls of sand.
Mm-hmm.
What you're trying to do is just shake that back and forth, just like the previous video. This is again just have a really nice surface finish with not a lot of big chunks on the surface.
Okay.
Because this is our parting surface under this, and this is the actual parting line is. So we want that to be very smooth, so we don't have any holes
Okay.
and have any leaks of molten metal.
This should be nicely packed.
Pack lightly. And for the coat half of the mold, since we don't have the pins, you want to be very, very gentle not to move it around on the parting board.
Okay.
Again, we'll ram up.
The same process as we did before.
Want to make sure you just kind of hold on to the flask as well, just so it doesn't slide around while you're ramming the edges.
Okay.
Alright. And disperse this all throughout the flask.
Okay.
Again, ram up in the same fashion.
So we are almost done with our second portion. So we're scrapping.
Now what we're going to do, we're going to cut our sprue.
So
So as you can see, we have these lines right here.
we have reference lines. Yeah.
So we'll want to put it about right there.
How deep you want to put it?
This is going to go all the way through.
All the way to the bottom?
Mm-hmm. So what you do, just slowly push it and rotate it. Then you can pull it out, and it should pull out.
Okay.
Full chunk. Slowly knock that out.
Okay.
And you just keep doing that slowly. And now I'm completely through. This should now provide us with a hollow hole, which is our sprue.
So we have gone all the down, all the way
You can
down.
see the bottom.
Yeah, we can see the bottom. So nice, good. So what will we do now?
So now what we're going to do is cut our pouring basin. What we want to do with that is just want to slowly just kind of take this out, just to provide an area for like molten metal to be poured into, and so we don't have excess pouring over the top.
Okay.
So this is
So it's kind of funnel.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Make a YouTube video channel. That's about its
Foundry.
lab. Yeah.
Now what we can do is
Gently
this on
turn
the
it
side.
over.
Yeah, and what we'll do is just push this through again, right through the hole that we had already created. We'll, should see it pop out the backside.
Okay.
There we go.
It's nice.
As you can see, now we have our
Yeah.
pouring basin as well as our sprue.
Okay. So it's our pouring base, and this is sprue. Okay.
Now, in theory, if this was full with our foam patterns, what we would do now,
Suppose it's filled with our foam patterns. Okay.
what we'd do is place this half on here. So then, what would happen?
Okay, so the
metal.
flat side of the foam would be on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And so what would happen is you pour your molten metal straight into there, straight through the sprue into the runner and gating system. And then next thing you know, you have parts.
Oh, great.
That easy. And with the green sand, it's very easy to shake out. You can just, as you can see, we'll shake this out right now for you.
Okay, so how long do we have to put it for to dry out?
What?
To dry?
It doesn't dry.
Okay, it doesn't dry. Okay.
Yeah, because if it dries out, then
So it's ready to use.
Yeah. So then, after you have your aluminum parts in there, all you have to do, drop it into there, and then
Okay.
what you would do, pull your aluminum parts in theory out of there and quench if you'd like, or let them solidify and cool at room temperature.
Okay. So the good thing about green sand is we can use that again and again,
Yeah.
and there's no drying time.
Very sustainable, and you can use it right after you set it up. You don't have to wait, as in no bake, for a few minutes to let it set up. You can just use it right as it's wet, and then shake it out, put it back in, use it the next day.
Okay. So that's all. That's all with our green sand molding. Thank you for watching.